workshop session for the Common Council meeting of August 6th, 2018 at 5:01 p.m. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Here.
Councilmember Heenan.
Here.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Here.
Councilmember at Large Voish.
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Since this is a workshop, we'll skip over certification of the prior meetings. We'll skip over reading of the privilege of the floor regulations and privilege of the floor. And we'll begin with communications from the mayor, including disapproval messages. Mayor?
The only thing I just wanted to say is that the comprehensive plan went very well. We had over 100 people that participated in it last week, and we will make a public announcement at this meeting.
Great. Moving along to number 6, communications from the public and petitions. Clerk?
Number 1, with the communications from the mayor, was the reappointment of Mr. Richard Goodman to serve another term on the Dunkirk Housing Authority Board, term to expire July 11, 2023.
And that will be received and filed, since that's a communication from the mayor. Sorry, I skipped over that one.
We have discussion on that. Just,
You want discussion
I
prior?
go to a lot of the meetings and then
Okay.
just say words about them because he does a good job in there.
Sure.
Okay. Request from Jose Rodriguez to use Dunkirk City Parks and Fields for the Missing You Always 5th Annual Memorial Co-ed Softball Tournament on Sunday, September 1st, 2018 from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Saturday, not Sunday. Correct? Is that right?
Saturday, September 1, yes, sir.
Okay. Any discussion, council? I'll make my usual motion. I need a first.
So moved.
Need a second? Number 2?
Request from the Dunkirk City School District for 3 police officers from 7:45 p.m. to 11:15 p.m. on Saturday, September 29, 2018 for the homecoming dance, also requesting that breathalyzer test be provided.
Any discussion, council? Make a motion to refer to the Dunkirk Police Department? PBA.
So moved.
Williams with the first. Need a second. Councilman Civiletto. Number 3.
Request from CSEA Unit 6303 for permission to have a bounce house at their family picnic on Sunday, August 12, 2018 from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the former Hose 4 Pavilion area at Point Gratiot.
Any discussion, council? Make my usual motion. Need a first.
So moved.
Councilman Williams. Need a second. Councilmember Monto. Number 4.
Request from Heidi Wicks Pierce to hold 3-pound fitness classes at Point Gratiot on Saturday, August 5th and 19th, 2018, and Saturday, September 2nd, 2018, from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Will not need a pavilion space.
Any discussion, council? Make my usual motion. First, Councilmember Monto. Second, Councilman Williams. Number 5.
5, request from Gregory Lamberson on behalf of Quackult Films, LLC, to use Point Gratiot Park various days during August 6th, 2018 through August 17, 2018 while filming a low-budget feature film at the Dunkirk Historical Lighthouse. Also asking for assistance with police and fire vehicles when shooting some scenes.
I know there are some concerns with this. Chief Ortolano?
Yes, as I had sent a memo out to everyone earlier today, let me preface this, as I said in my email earlier, I'm not meaning to submarine this or to create any issues. As all of you know here, I'm one of the biggest cheerleaders for good things that happen in the community, but I do have some issues with the amount of days they want to do this, the time frames of this 12-hour periods of closing roads in and around the point, closing the point off, closing areas of the park off, and they want to use our vehicles, which I can't speak for the fire chief, but I can't allow that for liability purposes for our vehicles or our people to be involved in it from that end of it as well. I really wish they would have come to us months ago, so we could have sat down and talked about this and planned for it more properly, rather than dropping it 3 days before they want to start and then having us try and figure out what the issues are. I mean, they've got in here that it's a low-budget film, and maybe at our expense it's a low-budget film, and I just want to make sure that they tell us exactly what they're looking for. It is so open-ended, I don't know what to do with it. Anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Chief, a lot of the dates on here are before our next meeting, so we can't really get any questions to them and answers from them. Would we be able to approve something conditionally of you talking and giving the okay, like leaving the okay to you at the end of it? That
Contingent
as long-
upon?
Yeah, contingent upon your approval of everything.
Yeah, I would like to have the fire chief and DPW director as well.
Correct.
Because it's going to involve the parks and shutting down streets and things of that sort as well, so. I mean, if they can come in and sit down with us and go over this stuff, I don't have any issues approving, helping them out, but I can guarantee you, they're not going to get everything that they're asking for in this letter.
So we
It's just way
could
too much.
possibly approve it contingent upon
Contingent upon the
everybody's.
approval of myself, the
approval.
fire chief, DPW director.
And if somebody's against it, then we don't move forward with
Correct.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have.
And I'll
an
say
issue-
that right in the motion itself.
Yeah, I mean, I want to
So it's
work with
crystal
them for
clear.
what they need, but I'm afraid with everything they're asking in here, it's just going to put weight, it's going to burden the people that live around that area with closing the streets. It's going to create too many issues, so I think it needs to be pared down.
Chief Edwards?
Exactly what the chief said, and my question was also part of them using city vehicles for part of their, what is the liability there, what is the, what's all involved in that. I don't think we've ever done that, so I have no idea what the answers are, but.
It's
it
different if they want to take a
doesn't-
picture of it versus different if they want to use it.
Right.
And there's no clarification of that within the request.
It was kind of vague, but that's my question.
I think definitely the three of you guys should sit with Mr. Lamberson and work that out and try to cram in that time. Because I thought the time
I'd like
frame
to
was
narrow
kind
down
of
the
wide.
time frame as well, because even in his letter he puts in here, it would be for a half hour or maybe an hour at the most. So it's like, we're going to tie up people for traffic control, and we're going to close the parks down, and we're going to have to block Point Gratiot drive off, we're going to have to block the park roads off, and if it's, depending on when they want to do this, if it's 10 times during the course of 2 weeks, that's going to be a pain in the rear end to be very long about it.
Yeah, you need to dictate the time.
Right. Well, or them tell us that we're gonna do it on this day for an hour, this day for an hour, then we can accommodate them, but 12-hour periods for 7 days is way too much.
Councilman Civiletto?
And I've gotten a little bit of extra information too, just that it's probably only going to be one time for an hour. So if that's the case, definitely I'll go with the contingency of them, of the three department heads, figuring out what that time is. If they, Mr. Lamberson can say, hey, it's going to be from 1 to 2 on the 10th, then yeah.
I have no issue with that, we can help them with that, but the letter was so open that
Yes.
I didn't understand what they were looking for.
Right.
Mr. Woodbury, did you have any additional concerns that either of the chiefs may not have addressed?
No, I think if you refer it to us to work out, I think we can do that. I'd like to comment that, in a way, this extra growing pain is a good thing. There are some communities, I've got colleagues with the city manager in California, they film in her city all the time, so I really reinvent the wheel. This probably will come up again, hopefully. Our city is able to people to film that, so maybe we can get a hold of that person and we can get some kind of policy written. If you want to film, you fill out all these things, so they didn't do that. They just kind of surprised us for all this stuff. If there was a process, it'd be easier to do.
We did this a couple of years ago, the White House, they came in 4 or 5 months early, we sat down, we talked about it, we put a plan in place, we knew exactly what they wanted, and it was an easy process. Getting it done on the 3 days before, that's the issue.
Okay, council, I want to work on this before we go in there. I would entertain a motion at the meeting that we approve contingent upon the acceptance by Chief Ortolano, Chief Edwards, and Randy Woodbury that certain stipulations and timelines be met to their satisfaction. Cool? Okay.
Do you have contact companies as well for
I can get it.
I think it's in the letter.
It's on the letter.
It's on the letterhead, yeah.
I make a motion on that.
And I would need a second. Second.
See at the top there?
I see, thank you.
Number 6.
Request from Joshua A. Latona on behalf of El Rigby Theater to use Memorial Park today, Monday, August 6th, 2018, and Monday, August 13th, 2018, from 4 to 11 p.m. to host Movies on the Lake, also requesting trash barrels for the event.
Any discussion, council? Make my usual motion. Need a first. Councilman Civiletto with the first, Councilman Williams with the second. Number 7.
7, request from Joshua A. Latona on behalf of the El Rigby Theater to use Memorial Park on Monday, August 20th, 2018, Monday, August 27th, 2018, from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. to host Movies on the Lake. Again, requesting trash barrels for the event.
There's 3 of these, you want to group those 3 together?
We can for the meeting, but just as a footnote, you guys might remember that he came in previously with a much larger request that included all 6 dates, and we weren't sure how the event was going to go because we were unfamiliar with it, so we asked him to split that up. Let's see how it goes first, and then submit for future dates. I don't think it was our intention to have him submit all future dates at the same meeting, just in
He
3
has
separate
more-
ones.
He has more
Um,
future dates.
Did
But-
he have one already?
He's had one
Yeah.
already,
Yeah.
and apparently everything went okay. I did follow up with the chief, and there were no incidents reported. Everything seemed to be fine. We did let him know that we were keeping everything to G-rated movies, PG at the most, but those would also have to be basically authorized or pre-authorized. So he had several. I think he had 6 6 times at the Point, 6 at Memorial Park, and then he was trying to get another one at the pier. So this is down from even the original request that came in.
Any further discussion on number 7? I need a first for that as well. Councilman Williams, Councilman Civiletto with the second.
And this is, number 8 is the same request for September 1st. I'm sorry, request from Joshua A. Latona on behalf of El Rigby Theater to use Memorial Park on Saturday, September 1st, 2018, from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. to host Movies on the Lake, also requesting trash barrels for the event.
What I'll do during the council meeting is I'll group all 3. Can I do that?
Yeah.
I'll group all 3 together for one vote, one discussion, one motion.
Okay.
Unless there's any concerns with any of them on an individual basis, which obviously there isn't. Number 9.
Request from Brenda Simons on behalf of the Walk to End Alzheimer's Committee to place lawn signs at Dunkirk City Hall and Point Gratiot for the September 29, 2018 Walk to End Alzheimer's at Point Gratiot.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, need a motion. Councilman Vimanto, second. Councilman Williams. Notice of claims. We have 8 notice of claims that are all very similar. Can we group notice of claims together, or do those, for legal purposes, all have to be individually motioned?
I think you can, because they're all about the same event.
Okay.
They're all in response to the flooding for the 24th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can group them all together for one vote?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask the clerk to read them all off individually. I'll ask if there's a discussion about each of them on an individual basis. If there is no discussion, questions, or concerns with any of them on an individual basis, I will group them all together during the council meeting for one vote and one motion.
A, Karen and Joseph Porpiglia of 76 North Martin Street for alleged water damages due to a backup from the city system on July 24, 2018 at approximately 7 p.m. B,
Any discussion on that particular one? Okay?
Charles and Mary Porpiglia of 72 North Jerboa Street for alleged water damages to their home and personal property due to failure of the city infrastructure system on July 24, 2018.
Any discussion on that particular one? Okay?
Lawrence D. Shapey 59 North Martin Street for alleged damages to flooded basement and hot water tank due to water backed up from the end of the street, Lakefront Boulevard, on July 25th, 2018.
Any discussion on that particular one? Councilman Civiletto?
Wondering why it's the next day. Is that,
Some of them just filed a claim.
Just the day they got
it's just the data that was filed? Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know
Or
if
they
it was the day of
noticed,
the
some of them
incident.
didn't go into the
Didn't
basement
notice
until
the next day.
the next
Okay.
day.
Any further questions? D?
Becky Addington, 57 North Ermine Street for alleged flood damages to appliances, boiler, hot water tank, and personal belongings due to blockage in the city lines that could not properly drain stormwater on July 24, 2018.
Any discussion about that one? E?
Christine Sell of 111 Plover Street for alleged damages to her hot water tank, furnace, washer and dryer due to 3 to 4 feet of street water backing up into her cellar on July 24, 2018.
Questions or concerns on that one? Moving right along, F?
Gerald and Margaret Waite of 59 North Ermine Street for alleged damages to their basement and its contents due to city storm drain lines backing up into their basement on July 24, 2018.
Any discussion on that one? G?
Amanda and Melissa Kaufman of 77 North Martin Street for cleaning and sanitizing a basement allegedly due to water and black contaminant substance that flooded basement on July 25, 2018.
Any discussion on that one? H?
Daniel and Deborah Schranz of 42 Central Avenue, Brockton, for alleged damages to their apartment located at 65 North Ermine Street due to backed up water, sewer, and cellar, July 24, 2018.
Any discussion on that one? Okay, I'm going to group all 8 of them together since there were no concerns. I will need a motion to refer this to the Law Department.
So moved.
Councilman Williams, second. Councilman Civiletto. Moving on to loudspeaker applications. We'll do the same with loudspeaker applications. We have 4 of them before us today. I will go through each of them individually here at the workshop. If there are no questions, concerns, or discussion, then we will group them all together during the council meeting for one vote and one motion. Clerk?
The SCEA Unit 6303 to use a sound system on Sunday, August 12, 2018 from 1 p.m. till 5 p.m. at their unit's family picnic at the former Hose 4 Pavilion area at Point Gratiot.
Any discussion? B?
Laura Coosdale to use loudspeakers and microphones on August 11, 2018 from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Dunkirk Lighthouse.
Any discussion? C?
The Dunkirk Democratic Committee to use a live band from 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. at the large pavilion of Point Gratiot on Wednesday, August 8, 2018 for their annual picnic.
Any discussion? Mr. Heenan, you want to vote no on that one? No comment, huh? D?
Oh, this is Josh Latone on behalf of El Rigby Theater to use speakers from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. on August 20th and 27th, 2018, and on September 1st, 2018 at Memorial Park for the movies On the Lake.
Any discussion on that one? I have a question pertaining to all 4 of them, and probably some that we voted on a previous meeting. Now that they're filming this movie that we just contingently approved over there, and we have all these loudspeaker applications in the same general area, is that going to be a concern for us, for the police department, for the film crew, and for the individuals that ask for the loudspeaker applications?
Yes, if they have more information now, we
Well,
Go ahead.
some info. The one on August 11th at the Lighthouse, that is a wedding, so they're not going to be filming during that time.
Okay.
Because it's on the Lighthouse grounds. Democratic Committee is tomorrow, so that's before it happens. And
Yeah.
I believe that being at the Hose 4 Pavilion in Point Gratiot is going to be too far away.
Yeah, that's too far.
Yeah,
So
at
I think
Memorial
they'll be
Park,
okay.
he shouldn't be hurt either at Memorial Park.
Yeah, Memorial Park's so far away.
I will group all 4 of them together for the council meeting. I will need to ask for a motion.
so moved.
Councilman Williams, second. Councilman Blanco. Reports of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Number 7, Councilman Williams, anything to share at workshop?
Right here.
Councilman Bomano? Councilman Civiletto? Councilman Heenan?
No.
I'll pass as well. Number 8, unfinished business. Seeing none, we'll move right along to pre-filed resolutions. Number 88.
Resolution authorizing renewal agreement with NYS Unified Court System City Court Security Services Contract Number Charlie 200495, April 1st, 2018 to March 31st, 2019.
Any discussion, council? Moving on to number 89.
Resolution authorizing school resource officer agreement, Dunkirk City School District.
Any discussion, council? Moving on to new business. Nothing walking in. Motion to adjourn workshop.
So moved.
Councilman Williams with the first, Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto. Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto. Councilmember at large Voish.
Aye. Workshop adjourned.
That one's already on. Okay. Gotta come back and turn it and hit.
Right, yeah, we knew that it was, I said, no, it's got a weird name. It's got a beautiful homes and better. Oh, it was gorgeous. And all the houses that have the numbers that show when they were built, you know, all this. Oh, yes, yeah, all that. I can still see that. It's amazing. Yeah, it is.
Testing 1 2. Testing. Can you hear me good? Claudia Dios. Testing 1 2. Welcome, welcome. We are live here at the Dunkirk Council meeting. Testing the microphones. Testing 1 2. 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 Testing. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
I got a replacement down in the hall. Yes.
In the drawer, nothing. No Darth Vader.
Uh-oh.
Sorry,
He's MIA, dude. Yeah.
Testing 1 2. Testing. Oh yeah, he's that, right? Who's this? Oh, what are we doing?
I was going to say, use it instead of Darth Vader.
Okay, we can.
They know how important that guy is. He went messing right around this time last year anyway.
I got his hat.
Are you doing guerrilla marketing?
No.
That's reserved for me. But it starts messing with my sinuses and my allergies. I start crying. First meeting, it happened just like that.
Don, do we need?
That works. You write the relations mechanic.
Yeah, I'll just turn around.
Wondering the same thing?
He doesn't want it. I won't say that.
Mike, where's Garfield?
Call to order the City of Dunkirk Common Council meeting for August 6th, 2018 at 5:33 p.m. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Here.
Councilmember Heenan?
Here.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Here.
Councilmember at-large Voisin?
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Certification of the prior meetings.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting of Tuesday, July 17, 2018 was presented to the mayor on Thursday, July 26, 2018, pursuant to sections 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter. All items presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect. In witness whereof I have hereto set my hand and the seal of the City of Dunkirk, New York, this 6th day of August, 2018.
Need a motion dispensing with the reading of the minutes?
So moved.
Councilman Williams with the first. Councilman Bamanto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin?
Aye. Reading of the privilege of the floor regulations.
The privilege of the floor shall be extended to any person appearing for themselves, in which case that individual shall be limited to 3 minutes, and to any person representing a group who shall be limited to 5 minutes. When recognized, please stand and state your name and address. The city clerk shall have the duty of maintaining such time limits, and the councilman at large may determine in his discretion whether individuals are speaking for themselves or representing groups. Councilman at large Voisin shall maintain good order and may require any speaker to cease speaking if remarks are made in bad taste or are slanderous or non-germane to any action taken or contemplated by council. The time limits specified shall be strictly adhered to, except that a speaker may be allowed to complete a statement or thought started before such time had expired.
Privilege of the floor is now open. If anybody wishes to speak, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. My name is Cheryl Goronsky. I live at 204 West 7th Street in Dunkirk, and I'd like to talk about the city dog pound. I recently rescued a Beagle puppy from there. 2 days in a row, I happened to ride my bike past Cedar Beach, and from the road, I could hear barking that could only be described as pathetic and desperate. I was able to contact Mr. Pearl, who informed me that the puppy had been there for 5 days, and if I wanted it, it was first come, first served. Pay me $40 and she is yours. So I met him at the pound with my $40 in hand. I was surprised when he allowed me to accompany him inside the pound. The first thing I experienced was a very unpleasant and dirty smell. The air in there is stagnant and very damp. It is dimly lit. There are no windows. There appears to be mold in several areas. The runs for the dogs are not adequate in size. There's no access to the outdoors, so the dogs are urinating and defecating in their small little runs. I do not know how Mr. Pearl can even attempt to clean up the dog waste to maintain sanitary conditions for these animals. The puppy I rescued was infested with fleas and suffered from a rash all over its body. It is called kennel rash, most likely caused by laying for 5 days on the bacteria-laden, unclean, damp concrete. These animals are totally dependent upon Mr. Pearl to feed and water them, and hopefully several times a day, especially in the hot weather. He is the only human contact they have during their confinement. Only after 5 days, when he takes them to the Lakeshore Humane Society or the Jamestown SPCA, does their life have a turn for the better. Mr. Mayor and City Council, I respectfully ask that you make it a priority to vastly improve the conditions that these animals are forced to live in. I am aware that the state deemed the dog pound as adequate in October of 2016 and on September 23rd of 2017, but adequate is not synonymous with humane. Let's not be satisfied with adequate. I think Dunkirk is better than adequate. Let's raise our standards and be humane. Gandhi once said, "The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated." Mr. Mayor, I would like to call your office and set up a meeting with you, myself, and many, many concerned citizens who share my opinion on this matter. Perhaps we could form a committee or a task force with a shared goal of providing a humane holding center for these animals. Thank you for your time. I'd like to give you this magnet with that reminder. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Goronsky. Anybody else wishing to take advantage of privilege of the floor, please step forward and state your name and address.
Hi, Jim Fisher with Revitalize Dunkirk, and I would just like to mention that our next monthly meeting is on August 16th at 6:30 at the Fredonia Incubator at 214 Central Avenue at 6:30 p.m. And also our August BYOC is at Wright Park on August 19th, starting about 7:15 p.m. And as always, you can check us out on revitalizedunkirk.com or on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Anybody else wishing to take advantage of privilege of the floor, please step forward and state your name and address.
Yes, my name is Sandra DePasto, 60 East Front Street. And I would like to know, we have a problem on our street, the racing cars. On corner of Front and Webster, we had 2 bad accidents that happened within 24 hours. First 2 cars I saw were totaled, were taken away on flatbeds. The second one, I was sleeping, I heard it was pretty bad too. There was a girl taken to the hospital and a lady, and I don't know if the people are running red lights stop signs, or if they're going too fast, or trees are in the way, I'm not too sure, but could this problem be evaluated and maybe something be done about it? Most of my neighbors are confined to their homes and are busy working, and they asked me if I would speak on behalf of the neighborhood of Front and Webster.
I'll take a look at it, and I'll have the controls check the area for radar and have them sit on that
Oh,
side.
thank you very much. We appreciate it. And one more thing, many of us watch the Common Council meeting at home, and many times we don't hear because people are not talking into the microphones. We can hear you here, but at home they're just got their ears to the set and they can't hear. They call each other. What do they say? And they don't know what anybody's saying. So please use the microphones for the people at home. Thank you, and thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you, Sandy. Anybody else wishing to speak, please step forward and state your name and address.
Greg Sick, 14 Armadillo Street, Dunkirk. I'd like to ask the mayor to do all the favor. If you contact the village of Fredonia, town of Pofford, and the town of Dunkirk about the property on the corner of 16 Miller Fillmore, Bob Evans and Accidental. The wife and I came out to the tour yesterday, and we thought we were in the back entrance to some kind of junkyard with all those weeds and everything. And now with the boat race coming up and everything else, we're gonna have thousands of people coming out the tour. Is that the kind of image you want to put, that we can't even take care of the weeds? Maybe we could supply a couple of people, summer laborers, to cut the weeds, even just for this one weekend, maybe, you know. I'd like to see it done all summer, but at least for this weekend when we're going to be televised on TV and everything else. Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Greg. Anybody else wishing to take advantage of privilege of the floor, please step forward and state your name and address. Anybody else wishing to take advantage of privilege of the floor, please step forward and state your name and address. Seeing none, privilege of the floor is now closed. Excuse me. Communications from the mayor, including disapproval messages. Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, I just have a couple of announcements. The City of Dunker's Great Lakes Grand Prix will take place on Saturday, August 18th and Sunday, August 19th along Dunker's shores of Lake Erie. The event will include a parade of the race boats down Central Avenue on Friday, August 17th at 5 p.m. This is going to be one of the largest events Dunkirk has ever seen, and we look forward to an exciting and unforgettable weekend in Dunkirk, New York. Please come out and enjoy this free entertainment with family and friends. There's been a lot of excitement, a lot of planning behind the scenes. Even as we speak, I was on the phone just a little bit ago with some of the people involved in this. So we're really looking forward to it. The villas at Battery Point, the developers, Erie Land Development, have received their demolition permits to begin the demolition of the existing building at 468 Lakeshore Drive East. Demo is scheduled to begin next week. The project will include the development of 11 8-unit market rate apartments at the southeast end of the site. We are excited for this development to take place and to offer new housing options in the city of Dunkirk. And with reference to the comprehensive plan community workshops, I just want to thank everyone for coming out to the comprehensive plan open houses last Tuesday. Specifically, we would like to thank Iglesia Gethsemane and the Kosciuszko Club for allowing us to use their space to run the open houses. Over 111 people attended and gave great input. I want to remind everyone that the community surveys are still open and will be available online and in the clerk's office until August 19th. Our consultants will be taking the information from the open houses and the surveys to begin to formulate a community profile and community input section in the comprehensive plan. In the fall, we will hold 2 additional visioning workshops to get ideas for actual projects in the city. The date for these workshops is to be determined. I'd like to turn it over to our Planning and Development Director for just her comments on the comprehensive plan and what happened last week.
Thanks, Mayor. Again, exactly what the mayor said. Thank you, everyone who came out and gave your input. We will also be having 2 more additional workshops in the fall to gain more community input and to specifically start looking at different projects that we can implement in the city. So every idea is a great idea, and we want to hear from you. The survey is also still open till August 19th, so please, if you haven't taken that yet, come out to our clerk's office. We have copies of the survey, and also on the city's website, the survey is available. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Rebecca. Clerk?
Reappointment of Mr. Richard Goodman to serve another term on the Dunkirk Housing Authority Board, term to expire July 11, 2023.
Any discussion, council? Councilman Williams?
Yeah, I go to a lot of the Dunkirk Housing Board meetings, and Mr. Goodman is definitely dedicated to the residents of Dunkirk Housing, so thank you for reappointing him there.
Mayor's communication will be received and filed. Communications from the public and petitions. Number 1.
Request from Jose Rodriguez to use Dunkirk City Parks and Fields for the Missing You Always 5th Annual Memorial Co-ed Softball Tournament on Saturday, September 1st, 2018, from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So move.
Councilman Williams with the first. Councilman Bamanto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan? Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at large Voisin.
Aye.
Request from the Dunkirk City School District for 3 police officers from 7:45 p.m. till 11:15 p.m. on Saturday, September 29th, 2018 for the homecoming dance. Also requesting that breathalyzer tests be provided.
Any discussion? I need a motion to refer this to the PBA.
So move.
Councilman Williams with the first. Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at large Voisin.
Aye.
Request from the CSEA Unit 6303 for permission to have a bounce house at their family picnic on Sunday, August 12, 2018 from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the former Hose 4 Pavilion area at Point Gratiot.
Any discussion, council? I need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So move.
Councilman Williams with the first. Councilman Bamanto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at large Voisin.
Aye.
Request from Heidi Wicks Pierce to hold 3-pound fitness classes at Point Gratiot on Saturday, August 5th and 19th, 2018, and Saturday, September 2nd, 2018, from 3 p.m. until 4 p.m. Will not need pavilion space.
Any discussion, council? I need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So move.
Councilman Bamanto with the first. Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at large Voisin.
Aye.
Request from Gregory Lamerson on behalf of Quad Cult Films, LLC, to use Point Gratiot various days during August 6th, 2018 through August 17, 2018, while filming a low-budget feature film at the Dunkirk Historical Lighthouse. Also asking for assistance with police and fire vehicles when shooting some scenes.
There was much discussion during the workshop session about this, and because it's so open-ended, the request itself. So after the discussions with the approval of the 2 chiefs and Mr. Woodbury, I am seeking a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. In addition to this entire communication being contingent upon the approval and acceptance of days, times, locations, uses, and overall acceptance of both Chief Ortolano, Chief Edwards, and Mr. Woodbury. So that was a mouthful for a motion. But
So move.
Councilman Williams with the first.
Second.
Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at large Voisin.
Aye. We have 3 communications from the same individual to hold numerous of the same events. So during the workshop session, we did not have any discussions or concerns about any of the 3. So I will have the clerk read all 3 of them off individually here, but we are going to group them together for 1 vote and 1 motion. Clerk?
Request from Joshua A. Latona on behalf of L. Rigby Theater to use Memorial Park on Monday, August 6, 2018, and Monday, August 13, 2018, from 4 p.m. until 11 p.m. to host movies on the lake. Also requesting trash barrels for the event. Request from Joshua A. Latona on behalf of L. Rigby Theater to use Memorial Park on Monday, August 20th, 2018, and Monday, August 27, 2018, from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. to host movies on the lake. Also requesting trash barrels for the event. Request from Joshua A. Latona on behalf of the L. Rigby Theater to use Memorial Park on Saturday, September 1st, 2018, from 4 p.m. until 11 p.m. to host movies on the lake. Also requesting trash barrels for that event.
Any discussion on those three, council? Seeing none, I would need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So moved.
Councilman Civiletto with the
Second.
first, Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. Number 9.
Request from Brenda Simons on behalf of the Walk to End Alzheimer's Committee to place lawn signs at Dunkirk City Hall and Point Gratiot for the September 29, 2018 Walk to End Alzheimer's at Point Gratiot.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. Councilman Bamanto with the first, Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. For notice of claims this evening, we have 8 claims that were submitted to the city of Dunkirk for an unusual event that we had, a weather event in the city of Dunkirk. All 8 claims are similar in nature, so we will be grouping all 8 claims together for one motion and one vote since there were no concerns, questions during the workshop session. However, I'm going to have clerk read them off on an individual basis. Clerk?
A. Karen and Joseph Orpilia of 76 North Martin Street for alleged water damages due to backup from city system on July 24, 2018 at approximately 7 p.m. Charles and Mary Porpilia, 72 North Jerboa Street for alleged water damages to their home and personal property due to failure of city infrastructure system on June 24, 2018. Lawrence D. Chafee, 59 North Martin Street for alleged damages to flooded basement and hot water tanks due to water backed up from the end of the street, Lakefront Boulevard, on July 25, 2018. Becky Addington, 57 North Ermine Street for alleged flood damages to appliances, boiler, hot water tank, and other personal belonging due to a blockage in the city lines that could not properly drain stormwater on July 24, 2018. Christine Sell of 111 Plover Street for alleged damages to her hot water tank, furnace, washer, and dryer due to 3 to 4 feet of water backing up into her cellar, July 24, 2018. Gerald and Margaret Waite of 59 North Ermine Street for alleged damages to their basement and its contents due to city storm drain lines backing up into their basement on July 24, 2018. Amanda and Melissa Kaufman of 77 North Martin Street for cleaning and sanitizing of basement allegedly due to water and black contaminant substance that flooded basement on July 25, 2018. Daniel and Deborah Schranz of 42 Central Avenue, Brockton for alleged damages to their apartment located at 65 North Ermine Street due to backup of water, sewer, and cellar on July 24, 2018.
Council, any discussion on any of those 8 claims? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer this to the Law Department.
So move.
Councilman Williams with the first.
Second.
Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. Number 11, loudspeaker applications. We have 4 loudspeaker applications before us this evening. There were no questions or concerns during the workshop session, so I'm going to ask the clerk to read them off individually. However, we are going to group them together for one vote and one motion. Clerk?
A, CSEA Unit 6303 to use a sound system on Sunday, August 12, 2018 from 1 p.m. till 5 p.m. at the unit's family picnic at the former Hose 4 Pavilion area at Point Gratiot. B, Laura Cousdale to use loudspeakers and microphone on August 11, 2018 from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. at the Dunkirk Lighthouse. C, the Dunkirk Democratic Committee to use a live band from 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. at the large pavilion of Point Gratiot on Wednesday, August 8, 2018 for their annual picnic. D, Joshua Latone on behalf of L. Rigby Theater to use speakers from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. on August 20th and 27th, 2018, on September 1st, 2018, at Memorial Park for their movies on the lake.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So move.
Councilman Williams with the first. Councilman Bamanto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. Reports of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilman Williams?
Mr. Woodbury, still back at 2nd and Roberts Light. How we doing there? If there's not time to get the city electrician there. Can we get that out, maybe to Beck or somebody that can come in and get that since our electrician is busy?
The electrician did a nice job to put together a proposal to fix that, and I just got that today. He's analyzed all the internal parts that need to be bought. He went overboard with his enthusiasm, and he would like to replace all the controllers throughout the entire city. I think eventually we could budget for that. But to just fix the loop would be $1,200. To get a new controller that would control that whole intersection better, and would be a pilot project for replacing all these old controllers, would be $1,800. So I'll be recommending to the mayor, after I just got this today, that instead of doing the $1,200 Band-Aid approach, that we do the $1,800, get a new controller for that intersection, and get that, and see how we like it, and then maybe replace the others. So he did, as you said, he is busy, but I asked him to do a little more work, and he did a great job.
All right, thank you. We'll be trying to keep updated on it in the future. Richard, if we could, have you looked at the agreement that the city had originally way back when with NIMO on that NRG plant?
Sorry, Sandy. I have not as of yet, but we did find it. I thank Ed Ramos for digging in the vault, finding that. But we have it, and we'll start perusing through that. It's a pretty big file.
I'm under the assumption that there's some promises at the time that were made to the city from the company, and believe that it might have been something that could have carried on even as it was sold. So I'm just wondering where we could stand to have any footing for any ground to talk to them about trying to keep their promise back when this was turned over from Dunkirk Electric to NIMO, and then ultimately NRG.
We'd have to look and see if those promises had any kind of time frame or sunset. You know, if the contract was finite or if it was open-ended, and then whether that would carry through once the plant went over to NRG. So we'd have to look into that as well.
Okay. And then is it the intent, does anybody know if the county has, or the IDA has officially done anything with their pilot with NRG since they decided to close officially?
I have met with the county executive as well as our senator and our assemblyman regarding this issue. They are looking into what can be done, if there's something that can be done immediately or not. So as of right now, it's in the attorney's hands, and we're just waiting to hear from them.
All right, we're too late for 2018 to do anything, I'm assuming, because we've already put out the tax levy for that. Hopefully we can do something before the 2019 tax levy, and I don't know, it's just my opinion, and I want to get it out here and put it on the record that just because somebody decides not to be in business, they still own that property, they still own that building. I believe they should be paying taxes on it.
I agree.
Also, I guess this is probably more for a little bit of clarification. I think we've talked about it before at either a council meeting or a finance meeting or whatever. The Stell project that's going on around town, that has nothing to do with any of the city money or anything. That's just Stell doing the houses and everything.
That's correct. The city did give a letter of support. In fact, I hand-delivered the whole packet to Albany myself. But the project is being funded through the state, and it's being administered through Stell.
There's some friends of mine in labor that have contacted me that were wondering if the Amish construction people that they have working on it followed the code for anything using the state money, and I told them that's not the city, but they're still kind of interested in it. I got a couple calls out to a couple people there. Again, it's not to knock the Stell project. They're doing a great thing in the city of Dunkirk. It's more about trying to put local local people to work that are right here in the city and not getting them in because they're hearing that they're being shipped in from Ohio or whatever. So just want to get it out there on the record that I'm asking about it to find out what's going on with it.
Again, the city is not involved in the hiring for that project of the contractors. However, I did have a discussion with our building inspector to ensure that if there were any variances granted, that we were all aware of it. And to my knowledge, there have been no variances, so everything should be, all the codes should be followed.
Okay, and then my last question for today is, has there been recently a posting for the impact team that you have, Mayor? Is that going full-time? I thought that was going to be a part-time situation.
No, that's an as-needed situation, and everything we're doing is being conducted by our HR director. He can answer any questions if you have any.
Okay. All right, then to Mr. Campola, is there a bid out there?
Yes, there is a bid. We've received several bids on it. We'll be reviewing the bids this week to make a determination whether we want to go forward with the position.
Is that for a full-time position now? How many?
One.
Just one full-time position, so that's going to be somebody's job all the time is just on this impact team?
Yes.
That won't be, it'll be as needed. So the full-time position, let me be clear, this is not a new position being created.
Okay.
Okay, this is just, we have things that, in the city, we have facilities, different buildings in the city that need to be worked on and repairs, and I'm going to be selecting the people that I would like to do that. This would be based on their abilities and their experiences. So that's what we're doing. It does not create any position. It's not any higher pay grade. It's not anything like that. Just that when we go to pick somebody to go do these jobs, we'll have somebody that we know is capable of conducting these services.
Just let me add that the people who did bid it on are internal employees.
Well, that was my concern because I've been saying for a while that I thought that we were lacking in employees in streets, and from what I understand that it might be people from streets going to that position, and that would make us less.
I have not reviewed the bids. They just
Okay.
came down.
Yeah, nothing we're doing is to create holes in any of our current divisions.
Okay. And that's all I had.
Thank you, Councilman Williams.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to clarify that the variances that the mayor spoke about were state variances from the state code, not zoning variances. There are zoning variants on some of the stall projects. And in fact, there's two coming up on the 14th.
Okay. Did you get that?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zarowski. Mr. Bamonto.
All I have is I encourage everyone to come out August 17th, 18th, and 19th to the boat race, and I'll see you all there. That's it.
Short and sweet. Thank you, Councilman Milano. Councilman Heenan?
Nothing, sir, thank you.
Even shorter and sweeter. Councilman Civiletto?
Just want to thank Rebecca and her team for all the work that they did on the comprehensive plan. I know that was a lot of work, and I believe that this plan is going to be vital for development in the future, and it's definitely needed, and thank you for that. Kind of want to talk about the pound situation. I thought we had been told in the past that dogs were there, the dog pound, that after 48 hours they were sent, not 5 days. Maybe that's just not in, it's just a memory of mine, but I would like to see us maybe review the conditions of that, and maybe when it comes to budget time, us looking to improve the conditions of where we put the dogs in our pound. And just that our Public Safety Committee meeting is coming up this week on Wednesday at 4. And just as far as when I've talked to Chief Ortolano and Chief Edwards in the past, everything is going well for the offshore boat race, and the planning is going smoothly, and that's about it.
Thank you, Councilman Civiletto. I just have a few things here. Something I failed to mention at our last council meeting. I would like to thank the Parks and Recreation crew in the city of Dunkirk for doing an amazing cleanup job after the 4th of July. I was awake and driving around the town at 6 a.m. the morning of July 5th, and it looked, or I should say, between 6 and 8 a.m. And the city looked the waterfront looked very clean. The city looked very clean. There was no garbage blowing around the waterfront. They were out working. I saw them all over the place after they came in, obviously. So I want to commend the Parks and Recreation Department and the guys that work in that department for doing a heck of a job cleaning up after our 4th of July festivities. Because as you know, there's over 10,000 people here probably. I don't know the exact numbers, but a lot of people that create a lot of damage and a lot of garbage, and the waterfront looked absolutely amazing the next morning. So thank you very much to those guys. Mr. Woodbury, during your explanation to Don, you were talking about the controller lights and how our city electrician might want to do more than just the one on 2nd Street. Since we're going to be starting budget time right around the corner within the next 60 days, if somehow he or you can work something up about how many controllers there are in the city, what the cost would be to do something like that, that would be the perfect time to present it to us.
He's got it right here.
Oh, okay.
He's ahead of us. Right.
Okay, thank you. And then, Mayor, I do have one question that, based on what Don asked with this impact team. Are those positions on the impact team permanent? I know they're on an as-needed basis. You move them around, but they're permanent employment, correct?
These are people who are part of our staff already.
Okay.
So when we have jobs that come up, things that we need to get done, we'll look at getting these people that we bring in to do them.
So someday when you're no longer mayor, sorry to put it that way, what happens with this impact team? Do they all just go back to their regular departments?
Yeah, so the impact team is used on certain assignments. They're normally where they belong at their, whatever they're assigned to permanently. When something comes up, if they're tied up doing something that's more of a priority, then we don't take them. But if we're able to free them up, then we use them. That's what the impact team is.
Okay, so there's no, you're just filling a vacant position. There's no additional payroll to the city of Dunkirk for this?
No, there's no additional payroll for this. This is not a vacant position. In fact, this position has never existed. This is a position that I'm creating to help us take care of some of the issues that we have to take care of in-house as opposed to contracting it out.
Okay. Okay, and the reason I'm asking so many questions is based on what Don asked, and obviously our concern with the streets, since we just had that nice article in the paper last week concerning all the potholes and the issues we have there. I just hate to see guys pulled off the streets department when we have so many street issues, and we're already short-staffed as it is, as we discussed during budget time last year.
So let's be clear for the record here that we are not pulling any guys off of the streets or potholes or cutting down trees that need to be cut or any other priorities that need to happen.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you for explaining it that way. I have nothing further. There's no unfinished business before us today. Pre-filed resolutions, number 88. Oh, I'm sorry, Chief.
I got two quick things. One, tomorrow's National Night Out. Invite everybody to come out and enjoy the night with the police and fire department, a good community event. And also, I want to commend the Dunkirk Little League for hosting the softball tournament last week, the state final softball tournament. As a parent of my daughter, we did this 15 years ago. I've traveled around this state, Massachusetts, Delaware, and been and seen a lot of places that run these programs. Gary Haas and his people did an amazing job. Talked to a lot of the parents from downstate. I was there several days watching the games, and they had nothing but good things to say about our facilities in this community, so we should be very proud of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Number 88, pre-filed resolution.
Resolution authorizing renewal agreement with New York State Unified Court System City Court Security Services Contract Number Charlie 200495, April 1st, 2018 to March 31st, 2019.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. Number 89.
Resolution authorizing school resource officer agreement, Dunkirk City School District.
Any discussion? Councilman Williams?
Just so that we can have it for the record, this is going to be fully funded or reimbursed from the city school district then?
That's correct.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye. Any new business before us? Walk-ins? Seeing none? Mr. Romano?
I'd like to make a motion to go in executive session for personnel reasons.
Do I have a second to that motion?
So moved.
Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye. And I would like to ask him to please keep times and names of when the executive session ends and the people who first and seconded the executive session ending, and the council meeting ending.